Are you the CEO, CMO, or COO? Okay, what seat do you feel? Like CEO is you just want to give some strategic advice. You want to have a full team of managers and leaders. You want to make a steady salary, but you're never going to get super rich. Okay, you want a steady salary and you want to be the face place, maybe speak on stages, write a book, come up with curriculum, whatever, but you're this guy, but you want a big infrastructure below you that can run the ship. COO is you just you don't care if anybody knows who you are. You just you want to make all the back end infrastructure work. Or CMO is, man, I'm just really big into marketing. I just want to go do what Russell says. Right? Which one are you? So we help them identify that. Okay. So once we've identified whether they're tens, hundreds, or thousands, then we are you a CEO, COO, or CMO? Okay. If they're none of those, then they have no business being in the coaching world. They need to go and work for somebody. Okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Just go work for somebody. They've got all the infrastructure you need. You'll make 150,000 bucks a year. You'll be great. So once I identify that, then we go to capacity. Okay. So what is your capacity to, and so capacity is this. So I have a 12-ounce coffee cup right here. If I have 24 ounces of coffee, I may want to consume 24 ounces of coffee, but my cup can only take 12 ounces. So then what we have to do is we have to identify where they are. What is your capacity? How much time do you have to give? How much money do you have to give? And once again, 10, hundreds, thousands. Then we determine whether the capacity they have is enough or whether we need to expand that capacity. Okay. And most of the time, people need to expand their capacity. They need to be able to grow it so they can take more and do more. Okay. And then the next step, once we identify that, is, and this is the biggest question that most people don't know, is what do you want to become known for? What do you want to be known for? Right. So if I was to ask you, Chris, I'm going to put you on the spot. Chris, out of, let's say 1,000 people watch this podcast and they're following Chris. What does Chris want to be known for?
So for me, it's I want to change lives through real estate, like my life's been changed, and I want to help them scale their profits.
Okay. So scale profits, right? Okay. So then what I would tell you is it's too big of a bucket. Okay. So with your scaling the profit and scaling your real estate profit, what's one thing that you do in scaling real estate that you do as good or better than anybody else?
Connecting to find deals.
Connecting. Okay. Okay. So then with connecting, what's one thing in connecting that you do as good or better than anybody?
Build relationships and following up.
Okay. Follow up. Okay. With follow up, what's one thing in follow up that you do better than anybody?
Personal thank you cards.
Nobody else sends thank you cards?
You asked me what I do better than anybody else. In my mind, that's what I do better than anybody else. But
Okay. Well, what about the thank you card? Is it just a card?
yeah, just non-branded card. Yep, just real simple.
Okay. So we could probably call that personal affirmation. Like you affirm people with a thank you card, whatever. Okay. So then what you do is you come back and you connect all those pieces, right? Okay. So I want to be known as the person. And so then you go behind the why behind the what, right? So the what
Yeah,
is thank you
yeah,
cards, but why,
yeah.
why do you do thank you cards?
Because it helps me. It helps connect people, know that they're important.
Okay, so right. So what you do in order to scale is you work with your prospects and you help them feel incredibly important. It connects them to you, and now they trust you to bring you through the journey.
Mhm.
And when you do that, then you don't have to spend millions of dollars in marketing because you're doing personally what you're hoping money does marketing wise. Okay. And so now what you've done is you've created a unique niche, you've created a unique process, created a unique pathway, and then you can go all in and build that. Okay. And so that's one of the things in coaching when you're trying to figure out like a capacity is you have to really dial down and figure out like what do I want to be known as? So my gut tells me, Chris, when you go to places, they're like, oh, you're the thank you card guy.
A lot of times it is. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's funny. I don't think of myself that way, but it is. So.
Yeah. But it's not about you, it's about them, right? And
Correct.
so once you get to that, oh, you're the thank you card guy, then it's over. You can scale and you can leverage it. Russell Brunson for many years was known as the funnel guy.
Mhm.
Okay. Joel Irway was the webinar guy. Okay. Alex Sharfin was the systems guy. Okay. You can go on and on and on and on. Grant Cardone was the real estate sales guy. Like if once you're known as the guy, now you know what you want to be known for, and it's easy to build a superpower around that. But most people don't know that. Most people don't know what they want to be known for. And so they're building, all they're doing is they're copying other people and hoping that the success that other people had will work. And when it doesn't work, they wonder why. And so you got to bring them back to square one. Anyway, that's my little ramble.
If you want to save time on watching all the episodes, but still get all the gold nuggets that we find from interviewing these 7, 8, and 9-figure entrepreneurs, then you can get all of that inside of the 2 Comma Club newsletter. Just go to 2ccnewsletter.com and subscribe.